The next MC Championship event was just announced yesterday and is set to premiere later this month, so you won't want to miss when it is, how you can watch it, and what to expect from MCC 30 as we discuss everything we know so far about the second MCC of April 2023, following MCC Scuffed earlier this month. We'll also predict when the teams will be announced. Before we spill the facts, a reminder that only a small percentage of the people who watch videos are actually subscribed, so feel free to hit the red button, plus turn on post notifications so you stay up to date with all the MCC news from me. So, yesterday, on Thursday the 6th of April, the official MC Championship Twitter account posted with the big news: "We just can't stay away, MCC 30 kicks off Saturday 29th April at 8 PM BST. Wow, can't believe MCC is 30 years old, that's basically ancient. As usual, the official MC Championship Discord server had its own similar announcement exactly 1 minute after the Twitter date reveal, which said, "MCC 30 has been announced, join us for all the Minecraft Mayhem 29th April 8 PM BST. Join the MCC 30 event and be notified when the event goes live." We have a few points to unpack from the tweet, so let's throw that up on screen again. There's no highlight video as there normally is, recapping some top play or fail from the previous event, but instead we have something I've been wanting from the Noxcrew, the team behind MCC, for ages. So we have an image here, which I guess you could call the MCC 30 poster. It's got the standard red background holding faded versions of the team mascots and the new rebranded MCC Season 3 logo revealed in February. But below the logo is the yellow diamond with the number 30 inside it, obviously to represent the 30th canon MCC event, but usually you'll find these event icons in the top left and bottom right of team announcement graphics. I'll throw up an example now of a team from MCC 29. See those little diamonds now? I use these icons for my video thumbnails, as do a lot of other members of the community working on graphics related edits and epic stuff like that. So the fact that we get these now at the date announcement rather than having to wait till the teams arrive is a huge bonus for us in terms of consistency, as I can now put this MCC 30 icon in this video's thumbnail. Did you notice it before you clicked on this video? Really hope the Noxcrew keep this tiny feature, it's a nice little convenience. Returning to the actual date itself, which is what you're here for. Zooming into the starting time of the event, it is 8 PM UK time as always, but the eagle-eyed among you may have spotted the time zone change compared to MCC 29, as the UK, which is where the Noxcrew are based, moved their clocks forward on Sunday, March 26th, as we do every year, to shift away from Greenwich Mean Time GMT to the current time zone, which is British Summer Time BST, which we will keep until late October. This is nothing new at all, and in fact MCC Scuffed just last week was the first event of the year to use BST. I'll say that again to make it absolutely clear, we are in BST now. If you live outside the UK and the start time would be the same as MCC Scuffed, but different from MCC 29. So if you still don't know when MCC 30 actually is going to commence, make sure to use a reliable time zone converter to find out when it begins in your local area. I've linked a good website for that in the description. Let's jump back to the Discord announcement because there's something unique there too. They are using the Discord events feature, which allows you to display interest in something and then that server will notify you when it starts. It's been used before for previous events, including the first 2 events of Season 3. So if you think you're somehow gonna forget about April 29th, make sure you're in the MCC Discord server to join the event. More info on how to join the server at the end of this video. Now let's think about the timing of MCC 30 in the grand scheme of things. This will be the second canon event of 2023 and of Season 3 as a whole. And although April 29th is a massive 6 weeks after MCC 29 on March 18th, we also had the non-canon MCC Scuffed event on April 1st, which was 2 weeks after MCC 29 and exactly 4 weeks before MCC 30. Therefore, April 29th was a very suitable date for MCC 30. It makes sense, you know, we just had 2 events in the space of 2 weeks. Right after a 3-month break between seasons, seems about right to start to space these events back out again. 4 weeks is a very common gap length between events too. Now let's look ahead to the teams. The next big announcement for MCC 30. Whenever teams are announced, the first 5 will drop on one day from 4:30 PM BST and the remaining 5 will drop the next day starting from the same time, and there's a 15-minute gap between each team's announcement. At the start of each day, we'll have the pointless poll on Twitter at 4:15 PM BST, which literally just asks you to vote for which of that day's 5 teams you're most looking forward to before they're even announced. It's a wonderful concept, but there was no mention of when exactly the MCC 30 teams would drop from either announcement platform. As of uploading this video, which is out the day after the date announcement, we've obviously, unsurprisingly, heard nothing more about this. Alright, here we go. I'ma call it now that teams definitely won't be revealed this week, as we are still a fairly long 3 weeks away from the event, and they have never been announced this early ever before. The week commencing Monday 10th April isn't looking likely either. It would have been likely if this was a Season 1 or early Season 2 event. However, since about just over halfway through Season 2 and carrying on into Season 3, teams have been announced on the Thursday and Friday 1.5 weeks before their respective event. For example, the MCC 29 teams were released on Thursday 9th and Friday 10th of March, for the event 8 days later on the 18th of March. This isn't completely new, like I said, this timescale was used for the later Season 2 events. I'm talking towards the end of 2022. By that reasoning, expect teams in the week beginning Monday 17th April, and I can almost guarantee day 1 of teams will be Thursday 20th and day 2 will be Friday 21st. Who knows, maybe it's the Monday, Tuesday or Saturday, Sunday pairs that they've rarely done in the past, but those are typically for non-canon events. events. Remember that these are educated guesses and they could throw us off by introducing a different day pair instead, like Tuesday and Wednesday, which they could do. Switch things up to throw us all off. This is just speculation, so there's a small chance that I'm wrong. This is a perfect conversation we can have in the comments. Let us know when you think we'll get the teams and maybe start making some bold predictions for possible duos as well. That practically covers the date and some decent guessing work about the teams. Now let's discuss everything we know so far about MCC 30. Let's get started. It's worth looking back at past events that took place around this time in previous years to get a taste of what seasonal changes we may expect to find. There have been 2 in April so far, MCC 4 on April 18th, 2020 and MCC 21 on April 30th, 2022. Side note, there was no April event in 2021 as MCC was still in its break between seasons 1 and 2. In both MCCs 4 and 21, the main hub was decorated to match the spring season, and in the Decision Dome, chickens were temporarily replaced with bunnies just for those events. So I think that will be implemented once again for MCC 30. I reckon there will also be an exclusive hub minigame which is optional and can be played between event games in the hub. But what exactly this game will entail, we don't know, because you see in MCC 4 it was an Easter egg hunt, whereas in MCC 21 it was collecting flowers from dogs. Those are 2 very different games. So there will be some kind of hunt, but we will only be told what exactly the item to collect will be in the MCC 30 update video, which releases the day before the event on the Noxcrew YouTube channel. In fact, speaking of the egg hunt, MCC 4 was predominantly Easter themed, with coins being replaced with golden Easter eggs as the scoring system, and Dodgebolt's name changed to Egg Bolt, with slingshots and eggs rather than the standard bows and arrows. Now for some reason MCC 21 was not Easter themed at all, despite being in the same month of the year. Perhaps that was because it was on the last day of April, so well past the actual Easter holiday period. By this pattern, I doubt MCC 30 will be Easter themed too, as it's again at the end of April, but cosmetic overhauls for spring will definitely be there as always. Lastly, in these videos we'd like to take a look at those regular MCC players who will supposedly be absent for this event. Now I say supposedly because you have to take this with a pinch of salt, as it's often the case that some players are joking and they actually did sign up. Most of the time the people who say they haven't are telling the truth, but occasionally you get trolls like Antfrost who like to throw the community off with things like team predictions. With this mini disclaimer out of the way, I can as of right now notify you of 2 players who probably won't be in MCC 30. Both Smallish Beans and G Nelly are off for their holidays. They both said this in response to a Reddit post listing the unscientific predicted percentage probabilities for players to partake in MCC 30. Yeah, I created that alliteration on purpose. On the other hand, according to this Twitter response from today, SB737 may finally be in the mix again. We can infer that he has signed up for the first time since his last event, MCC 23. Remember again, Smallish Beans and G Nelly are not confirmed to be out, and SB isn't definitely in. That's just what they themselves have said. Who knows the truth until the teams drop. Guys, before we end, I just want to remind you that if you love talking about MCC just as much as I do, you can join lots of free official social media platforms to do just that, to talk about our beloved Minecraft tournament and its public server MCC Island. Check the links in the description to join the official Discord server, subreddit page and island forums to discuss with other members of this amazing community and post memes or statistics. There's lots you can do. Now there's probably a couple other small hints we've been given about what to expect from MCC 30, but I've talked through the most important ones here. Good job to Noxcrew for developing another great event, and to Scott's Major for organizing the teams, which should be dropping in about 2 weeks time as mentioned earlier. Well, I've been your host and I'll catch you all in just a couple days time for the top fails from MCC Scuffed. See ya, Minecraft champions.